Oh, shut. Oh, darn it. Oh. Hello. I'm just sharing the live out for a few people. We'll be going live with a friend of mine, Ashley Dreamstar. I think she's going to invite me. I'm not sure how this works, but I'm just gonna share it out with a few peoples. How is everybody? Let me know where you're from, how this eclipse is treating you. This energy from the eclipse, which we'll be experiencing for the next year or so. So, I had a beautiful experience. I took the day off and did a meditation and a crystal grid outside. Hey, Stargazer, how are you? Hey, how are you? My friend should be joining us soon. I was going to try to light an incense for us, but my freaking lighter stopped working last night, and I just remembered that I didn't get a new one. Good, I'm glad you're well. Hey, Soundical. I liked your video earlier about the numbers. It was crazy that you're bored to tears. Oh no. Oh no. I had a good day. I met with my spiritual community, with Cub Cookers group, and then me and my son went to eat a late lunch. And hey, Eddie. Oh, you gotta go. Okay, no worries. I appreciate you coming in and saying hi. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate you so much. I always tell people it's okay if you can't stay. Thank you for the heartbeat. Just stop in and say hi if you can. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for becoming the number 46 member on the team. I appreciate that. Yeah. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you had a fabulous eclipse. You don't know any spiritual people there. Me neither. I don't know any spiritual people here either. There is a girl that I kind of grew up with. She's a little bit older than me. That is kind of like a little bit into like frequencies and oh, there she is. My friend Ashley. Hey, girl.
Hello.
Hello. Let me turn up the volume here. Okay.
Me too.
No.
How are you?
I'm great. I was just talking with a friend here. She said, I don't know any spiritual people here. I was like, me neither, girl. There's like one girl that's kind of catching on finally from school. She was a little bit older than me, but she's like into frequencies and like kind of into mushrooms. And I'm like, oh, cool. But she's just now, it's hard around here.
Yeah, it's hard here too because like I'm in the Midwest and so everything is, a church on every corner and that's kind of where I came from. So yeah,
A
it's
church or a bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is here. Small town, South Central Texas. It's like Bible Belt. And oh, thank you for the follow, James. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's I did meet one of the creators on here, Derek. He's a witch, and he's like an hour and a half away. I'm like, oh no, we can hang out.
That's awesome. That is rare, especially to find like a male witch.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Yes.
Hey,
So how was your weekend? How was your weekend so far?
So far so good. I was just explaining how it's hard living in living in Texas. I thought you said Irving, Texas. I was gonna say that's not far away. Sorry, somebody's commenting here. Yeah, it is hard in Texas, but I think that it's big enough. Like it, even though we're in the Bible Belt, there's a lot of influence from Austin. Austin is very weird. Let's keep it weird. But I don't know. I live in a small town right in between Austin and Houston, so I have a lot of influence from both, but just not quite there. So,
Yeah.
anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, it's been good. Me and my son went to a little place here for some seafood and stuff after our meeting earlier.
Yeah.
And I got a nap in, so that's always good. How about you?
It's been good. Yeah, I've worked a lot today. Obviously, we were on together this afternoon, and
Yeah.
yeah, I worked a lot. I did some research, and then I just relaxed. I had a baked potato, and I relaxed. So,
Awesome. I got crawfish for the first time this season, and I know that that's probably not like, I don't know if y'all have crawfish there or it's a big deal here. So,
yeah, we do because I live in a river town,
oh,
but I've never had one in my whole life.
oh my gosh, it's
I,
so
it's one of those things.
good. That's
Yeah, it's kind of
crazy.
on my bucket list this summer to try that, especially as I am moving towards kind of doing like a strictly pescatarian diet. So,
Yeah,
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 so gotta
me
up
too.
the variety
Yeah.
on what I do.
I've actually been doing strictly pescatarian for like a year and a half or more. So, yeah. Yeah, so it's good. Like I love seafood. That's what I grew up loving. Like my favorite food was seafood anyway. So it really wasn't that hard for me to transition. I was like, you know,
That's how
uh
I feel the best when you have my omegas, I think.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And sushi is like, oh, I love sushi. So, yes.
Uh,
It wasn't hard.
calamari is so good.
Yes,
Squid.
yes. Thank you for
I'm
sharing the
gonna
live.
shut my curtain real quick to get this off of me.
Okay. Lockhart here. Okay, so how far is McAllen, Texas? Oh, we got a lot of Texas here. Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm in like near College Station. So I'm right in between Austin and Houston. So I'm not sure how far. I know McAllen. I think we used to play them in high school, so you can't be too far. And Lockhart, that seems close too. Sorry, I keep bumping my little stand here. Highlands, Texas by Houston. Wow, okay. Houston in the or Texas in the house. That's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like I
20
meet
miles
like
from Bastrop. Okay.
two people
Sorry.
from Iowa, like maybe two in this journey, and that's about it. But it's not as big.
Yeah. Yeah, you could probably fit about 10 Iowas in Texas.
For real. Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Thank you for the share. Thank you so much. Um, So yeah, what would you like to talk about? I know we just had the eclipse, and I was explaining how I did my little spiritual, meditation and crystal grid and stuff. And I know you had a lot of similar feelings, like a heaviness. We both experienced like a pressure, and so not really sure what that's about, but
Yeah, no, I
PA
did.
here.
But it was a great experience for me. It was so beautiful. And I like got a little emotional. I'd never seen a solar eclipse. This was my first one. So we weren't in totality, but 84% is a lot.
Yeah,
And we the kind of clouds that everybody else had, but they parted like right when totality happened. So that was, I mean, that was like really, that was awesome for to experience and like have the timing correct. But yeah, I did feel kind of like underwater, like you were saying. And I had kind of like a heaviness. I had a headache, but it was temporary. And then like the next 2 days after that, I just had all these downloads. Like I had all of this perspective shifting. Not that I was like getting a bunch of information, but a complete perspective shift. And I got a little bit sad. Yeah.
yeah,
And that happens to me periodically that I'm just like, man, I hate spirituality. Like I'm so fixated on this, and then, I come
yeah.
back around. But overall, it was beautiful. The rapture didn't happen. Yeah, we're still here.
I
Yeah.
mean, unless we like True Seeker says actually in the Bible, if you read it, it's the wicked that are taken. So maybe the rapture did happen, and we just don't know yet. We're gonna find out that maybe so-called elite or whoever were taken, and I
I
don't
mean,
know.
maybe like if my like ex-boyfriends and my ex-husband is still around, I'll
Right.
be suspicious, but
Right.
no.
My baby daddy.
Yeah, no, just kidding. Just joking
I know.
about that.
No, politics still exists. I know, right? I've been exhausted and sore after the eclipse. I've been sore, okay? So I felt the heaviness and the pressure in my ears and in my head. You were expecting more. Okay, Stargazer. Hey, Courtney. Okay, so oh, thank you for the follow. So I have been experiencing lots of soreness in my shoulders and in my neck, which I usually don't. So I'm not sure what that's about. That's new. But yeah, the pressure, it wasn't like uncomfortable. It was just like it was awareness. Like I could feel it in like almost like a sinus thing. And I've been sick, so I was like, maybe it's just that. But then when you said it, and actually other people on TikTok I was watching had said the same thing. So I was
Okay.
like, okay, there's something to it. So something was coming in. I think we were downloading some kind of upgrades or something. I'm not sure, but thank you for the shares. Thank you so much. Um, Not sure exactly, but yeah, overall it was beautiful. And mine was just the opposite. I had clear skies, and then halfway through we got a rainstorm, and so I was like, darn it.
Oh
I was
no.
sick before and sick. Okay, so somebody else was sick before, okay, and then still sore neck and muscles. Yep, that's how I'm feeling. So maybe it's like ascension symptoms.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I just I was happy though. I was happy with the experience, even with some of those side effects,
Oh yeah, me too.
because it was still beautiful. It's so amazing to me that we can see things like that just in the sky, like
Yeah,
this cosmic dance that's put
beautiful.
on for us.
Yeah, and I made a video explaining how I felt like it was like a divine union of the male and or the masculine and feminine divine energies coming together, and like I felt that. Like I felt a balance. I felt more like I did feel a shift, and I think it's like a timeline thing. Yeah, somebody said we timeline jumped. Yes, okay.
Yeah,
So y'all
we were
are on
talking
board.
about that.
Yep. That's how I felt exactly. So mine was the opposite, peaceful and lighter than normal, but a lot of new downloads. Okay. Those who have ascended already have shifted to another timeline. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Sorry, I don't want to ignore my chat.
Yeah, go for it.
The birds were acting weird. Yeah, so the birds, I noticed that they went quiet, during the totality or whatever, but I didn't really see my dogs weren't acting weird, nothing like that. Like, did you have anything weird with your dogs?
Yeah, my dog, she was just really like amped up and she
Oh,
wanted to
yeah.
go outside with me. And I just like I could have taken her out, I guess. I just kind of she didn't have to go. So I was like, you can just chill inside, you're fine. Because they said animals probably wouldn't look at it. Like that the like animals don't have like an instinct, I guess, to look at an eclipse. So but I just kept her inside. But yeah, she was amped up. She like wanted out there. So I don't know. I
My
don't know what.
dogs were all out with me. I have six. And so I was in the puppy pen though. I told y'all, or I told you at least, I made me a sanctuary. So
Yeah.
my dogs took over my yard. So I went into the puppy pen where they used to be. And it's not small, it's pretty big size. I have a table and I have my chair and I have my little thing for my drinks and stuff. Um, and so I set up my crystal grid there. And yeah, it was nice and peaceful. The dogs just were being dogs, running around, like puppies do. So somebody said we have peacocks, and they went nuts for a bit. Oh, and then quiet.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, I
I'm
didn't
sure
think
that
about
was
how people.
exciting. Hey, Pixie girl, how are you? Good to see you, girl. There's our sister from Cubs group, Brenna. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I enjoyed it. The birds went nuts. Okay. That's what Brenna said, the birds went nuts there. See, I didn't notice anything like that. And when it was dark, like the totality, which we had, I don't know, I'm assuming we had about 85%. I don't know. I didn't look it up. I don't even know how to look that up. Um,
Sure.
but it was just very peaceful. Like, I just was soaking it all in. I had my feet in the dirt, just
Yeah.
loud prayer, then quiet after. It was strange. The light will win. Yes, it will. Yes.
I didn't see any demons. I didn't see any Silver Surfer Jesus. I didn't see like everything was pretty normal. The only part is
Yeah.
that when the clouds moved and we kind of had our form of the totality, it's almost like the sun did like a surge. Like there was like the light like expanded. And that was
Yeah.
the only kind of anomaly thing that I
I
saw.
noticed, even in the video I posted, I noticed extra light. Like not just the light from the sun and the moon passing in front of it. It would be like in the clouds, and it could have just been the clouds breaking and the sunlight coming through. But it looked like extra lights were going over, as the clouds passed. So I was like, you know, but things are weird in the sky.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. But I didn't see like I've seen all those videos about like stuff like black things like coming down out of the eclipse, and I don't know what to believe because there's so much
Yeah,
ability now by the normal person to do fakes.
exactly. Yeah, I know. There's been some really cool stuff. I did see one of a solar flare where like a cloud came off. Did you see that one?
I
And
did,
that
yeah,
was really cool. That was
yeah.
really cool. I don't know if it, I saw dragons flying around the sun and the moon. Wow,
Yeah,
Starlight, that's amazing. See,
it's
I
really
didn't
cool.
see any of that, but and there was a guy, okay, so True Sika, he like will get like the little Merkabas and stuff. And I saw a guy doing that, and he got some really cool like angelic figures. Like if you zoom in really close and you turn the contrast just right and all that. So I didn't see
Yeah.
that. I had flies. In my video, there's like flies dancing around, and there's two flies that are like together, and it's so cute because I feel like it's the masculine and feminine energies, but they're flies. So I didn't want to be like, look at my flies, my couple of flies.
And they were just
But
like real actual flies, just natural
yeah,
flies.
yeah,
That's
just real flies.
that's so cool.
We have lots of flies here in Texas, so it's getting warm already. It was like 80 degrees or something. So, yeah, it was cute to me because they were like dancing around in my video. I like took
Oh,
a
it's
couple screenshots.
it's actually really warm here already too. Today was like in the like lower 70s, which is
Okay.
yeah, yeah, I saw a wasp. I was not happy because you know how I feel about when the brood of cicadas are coming up this
Oh
spring and
yeah.
summer. I'm so like that's the only part of this whole eclipse thing that has me like clutching my pearls because I don't do bugs.
Do y'all have them anyways each year? Like, y'all
Mhm.
get them? Okay, because we get them here, but I'm not sure if we're supposed to get like the brood, like,
No,
no.
Texas is not in the like there's like this ground zero. I'm not obsessed, but I was like very curious. And like Illinois is like ground zero for the two broods. And then Iowa's like there's
Let's see.
like, red, orange, yellow. We're in the yellow, but that's I didn't want to I want to be in the no color. I don't want to see I've never seen a cicada. I've heard them, but I've never seen them. But I mean, we're talking like the normal years or whatever, but they're supposed to be like a trillion or trillions. And
Yeah.
yeah, I guess the sky can go black from them. I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
I don't,
Wow.
yeah.
I didn't. Hey, Corey, how are you? I didn't know it was like gonna be that bad, but we get them every year, and they're super loud, and I see them all the time. And the little shells that they leave behind are everywhere, and we play with them. Oh yeah, since I was little, we always gathered them up and played with all the shells and stuff. Like I was telling y'all earlier, like I've never heard of having a foot fungus from going barefoot outside. Y'all are all scared to go barefoot, and we live barefoot. Like I'm in the country, I guess, because we are barefoot hippies around here.
I wonder if
I
it's
don't know.
different with like, you being in the South because like I did go barefoot as a kid, but
Mhm.
it was never like you're gonna get a parasite or worms or anything, but it was kind of like you would get planter's warts sometimes, grossly. But you just deal with it and you're a kid. But in the winter when we come inside, we take our shoes off. Like we never have shoes inside almost anywhere. And
Mhm.
I've heard that other parts of the country like you do or you have like house shoes and you have
Mhm.
like I don't know. Like that's we just wear socks and barefoot like inside at all times. And
It just
so
depends. I'm usually like barefoot in the summer, but like in the winter, yeah, I usually have like a slippers or I'll wear like the socks with like the grippies on the bottom, like the hospital socks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's grippy socks fashion. Yep, yeah, it's crazy girl couture.
Hmm.
That's what that is. Yes, there's a whole Facebook group called oh gosh, it's called "This Meme is So Relatable I Could Never Tell My Therapist" is the Facebook group, and they just do memes, and the amount of like grippy socks memes on there, it's really funny. It's a good way to cope with mental spicy issues by with humor. So I love
Gotcha.
that. But we don't really have those here. If we do, they're like so ugly. I could never like with the
Oh,
grippy
really?
socks. Yeah, they're so ugly. They're like straight. Yeah, they're like the brown weird ones.
Oh no, I have like pink and like fuzzy, like all the different ones. That's
Mhm.
so funny. Since I was little, that's been like what we do here. And the other ones is what like what's it called? Knit. Like, like knitted socks and stuff. So like they go real high up in the tie and anyways, it's a whole
I
thing. Yeah. We definitely yeah, don't we definitely take off our shoes, but then usually a house shoe or something or a sock.
yeah.
But anyways, enough about that. Okay. What would you like to talk about? I know that we mentioned goddesses and stuff like that, and
Yeah, I
oracle
wanted to
cards,
ask
all
you
kinds of things.
about like if you wanted to share some of your experience, like with the topic of goddess and kind of um, how your maybe perception of like deity or working with like a guide has shifted, for you, like your journey.
Okay, so as you know, I had my Kundalini awakening. Hey, Missy. In September, where I integrated with Hecate. And I use that word because she literally like came into me. I could feel her presence. We spoke telepathically, and then she filled me up like from hey bestie, like from head to toe. I could feel like her energy, and she's still with me. And I work with her with like my divination and stuff. Um, I had a shamanic Kundalini awakening, which is like I wasn't like in meditation or doing the Kundalini yoga. I was literally like dancing and chanting, "Thank you for the lightning, thank you so much." And I was taking plant medicine, some mushroom candy, and yeah, and she came through, and I've been working with her ever since. She's the only one that I work with. I know that some people like reach out to deities, but she came to me, and so I've never had to like offer anything, if that makes sense. Like, I do light incense for her and stuff like that. I'll put out crystals and things that I feel like would resonate with her energy. I have a key, she's known for like crossroads keys, uh, torches, hounds, stuff like that. So, like, I got a new. Where's my? I'll show you some of the crystals that I got. I
Yes,
got
show me out.
I got the triple moon goddess crystal.
I love that. And what kind of crystal is that?
It's a blue banded agate.
Oh, I love
And
it.
it
It
has
was
some
so beautiful.
juicy in there. And then I recently got this little puppy. It's a pink opal little
Oh,
puppy with
does it have
wings.
wings? Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
love
So those are my two like that I got like specifically for my Hecate altar, which I'm building. It's not ready yet, but yeah. So, hey Anthony, thank you for the likes.
Have you seen her Strophalos? Hecate's Strophalos? Okay, so I'm no like I'm not really cool. I just learned this today.
Okay.
Um, but it is one of her symbols from the ancient world, and I knew we were going to talk about this,
The
so I
wheel?
screenshotted it. Oh, you're not going to be able to see
Oh
that.
yes, yeah, the wheel, Hecate's
Wheel, right?
wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like the Strophalos and all the different variations of that, I just thought were fascinating.
I don't know what
And
Strophyllos is.
Yeah, see, I didn't either. I'm looking at it, and so there's some different interpretations. One is like this is like basically three worlds that are interconnected in the middle, but that's like three different dimensions. Others equate it to like the world snake, but it's like these three different sections, similar to what we see in all like triple goddess lore, like for like the Celts and yeah. So I
Yeah.
just thought that was super interesting. Yeah, her little, but they would put it on doors. Since she's the goddess of like crossroads
Mhm.
and the thin spaces, to protect them. So I thought that was really cool because I thought I'd seen pretty much all her relics, but I guess I didn't know the big one.
Yeah, yeah, I came across that. Well, I have a couple books that I've read since, she came in and integrated with me. And then I just got this one, A Year of Hecate. So it's got invocations and prayers for every day. So I'm going to be starting that. So I just figure any way to like deepen our connection, because I want to channel. I do channel her in automatic writing, but I want to be able to like do lives and actually answer questions for people and channel through her. So I'm working up to that. Your book that you recommended for the book club actually like has a lot of good information in there about that.
Yeah, if
So
you go down that, if you're going down that path, yes, it does.
yeah.
And there's a lot of people too. And that book is What is Remembered Lives, and the author
Mhm.
is Phoenix for anyone in the chat that wants to know, because I like to cite the sources, give credit. But
Yeah,
her
yeah,
ancestry
that one near
connection,
me.
yeah. So, yeah, that book was really helpful to me in the beginning when I kind of started my journey with kind of being open to working with anything but one of the Trinity members in the church.
Yeah, because before that, I had only really heard from what I would say Source and Jesus. Uh, that was like, and who knows, it may have been. I mean, to me, Hecate just represents the mother. It's not really, oh, it's a Greek goddess. It's the mother energy, because I've learned that she was the incarnation of the divine mother here. So, and I say here, but really worshipped here. I don't know if she actually physically lived here. I think that it's more of like there was a god, realm or a heavenly realm that maybe they just communicated with this realm. I don't know. But do you work with any yourself?
I do, but I'll talk about her in just a sec. I just want to say for you with Hecate, it's amazing that you just kind of intuitively view her as the mother,
Mm,
because her and Helios are the only Proto-Greco-Roman titans that survived the war, right? And so, like, once the Olympians take over with Zeus, her and Helios they're like one of the most ancient figures that are brought over before we have modern, Greco and then Roman
okay.
mythology around them. So, I mean, it really is. And if you think about that, Helios being the sun, then the counterpart would be the moon. And so it's very much in line with her being, the mother energy that you view her as. So I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and I lost my mother when I was very young, so she's and I tapped into that energy too the other night. But yeah, she's just kind of been my spirit mother, I call her, and so I do view her as the divine feminine counterpart of the source. So
Absolutely. I love that. And so my I work with one, and I've only ever worked with one, and I didn't like choose her necessarily, and I wasn't on a path to try because like I'm considered a witch, right? And so in the witchcraft community, like everyone and their cat has a deity, at least one. And they're usually from the Greek or Roman pantheons, which no shade at all. Nordic too, I guess, would probably be another popular one, and no shade whatsoever. But I just didn't think that that was my path to like dial a deity. You know what I
mhm.
mean? Like I didn't want to just like pick my favorite one from mythology and then just, like you'll see a lot of and I don't discredit anyone's experience. I just never wanted to turn into the kind of practitioner that was like, well, Odin picked out my sundress today and he wanted me to wear this yellow one. And, I didn't want it to be end up being like, and I get a little obsessive. So I wanted, that was for me too. But when I started my journey in very late 2020, I was really curious after coming into some mythologies about an experience I had as a teenager where a woman, a female, came to me in my bedroom, told me some things that ended up happening, so prophesied to me in my life. And my mom had always told me, like, oh, I've seen her before too. It's the spirit of Jezebel. Like, you should cast her out and like don't talk to her. But my mom hadn't actually talked to her. She just any woo-woo stuff must, especially if it's female, must be Jezebel, right? She never. And so once I opened myself up to to studying witchcraft and studying deities and like what that would look like, I decided, well, I'm going to take all the clues that I have about this entity that came and visited me and was clearly right about my life. I'm looking into her. Hi, Cub. Thanks for joining. And when I
Hello.
when
Sorry.
I
Hey,
had my
Rosie.
clues, I finally kind of narrowed it down to being one of the triple moon figures, right? But I didn't know which one, and so I was going through a lot of different things, and basically I was like hardcore. I was like, okay, I am going to make connection with whatever prophesied to me as a teenager, and I kind of settled on Hecate. And so I did a Hecate ritual and I meditated all the way until I fell asleep that night. And I had this amazing, profound dream. And I was in a van, like a passenger van, and there was a giant, like 3 feet tall raven sitting next to me in the van. And the raven said that like Hecate had a message for me, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like here we go, here we go. And he told me that her message was, "You need to look to your own. I'm not the one that you seek." And when I woke up, I was like, "Okay, well, I'm not Greek or Roman, so that must be what the message is." So then I started looking into my own people, and I stumbled upon, through meditation, stumbled upon a lesser known Welsh goddess named Ceridwen. And the clues that I had for who had come to me were um, I'll just say like the symbol of the pig, the symbol of being cloaked and in moonlight, and the symbol of a cauldron. And that's all Ceridwen. She's connected to the White Sow. She is the mother of the cauldron, which is Awen. And she happens to be from the part of the world that my people are from.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, it's really cool. And her mythology is awesome. She was married to like a redheaded giant. Yeah. And
Heard of her.
she's
That's
got
cool.
great. And, I have red hair. So it's like, but yeah, so I work with her. After that dream, I just the book that we were talking about, What is Remembered Lives, kind of helped me do kind of like journal work to really connect. But it didn't take much. It didn't take much at all because as soon as I was open to it and kind of, lit a candle and was like, all right, I'm ready. You can be in my life now. I know I was scared before. Like she was there and I had a whole crying breakdown session with her. I couldn't physically see her, but I felt her and I felt that she was giving me answers to my heartbreak. But I have seen her once, and that was a pretty intense ritual I did outside on a bridge over the river. And that one was pretty intense. But I know she's real, and real for me. It doesn't really matter what the experience outside of me is. So, not,
Please. Yeah.
not for that perspective. But to me, she's very much like kind of ancestral and a deity at the same time. And so
Mhm.
that's much more comfortable zone for me to be in, I think, than just, like all of a sudden deciding I'm going to worship Ra and trying to figure out that whole culture. It's just more
Oh my
culturally.
gosh. Joe, thank you so much. He just sent me a zodiac wheel and it was so beautiful. Oh my God. Thank you.
Those are the
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
best.
you.
I think those are brand new gifts too, the
Oh my
zodiac
gosh. It
wheel.
was so cool. Thank
I thought
you.
the galaxies were great.
Yeah, right. Thank you so much, Joe. That was beautiful. So Pixie Girl, Brenna, she says she's always wanted to channel. How do you do it? Well, if you want to channel, I would recommend first just start reading lots of channeled work and get familiar with the process. Um, Seth Speaks is a good one. Um, Dolores Cannon. Um, and then What Remembered Lives, like that's one that it just really kind of walks you through the process, gives you meditations and all the stuff to kind of help you learn. So I love you too, Joe. Thank you. Thank you for the follow, Ambers. Bashar, there you go. So watching Bashar and other channels will help you just kind of open up your mind to the capability of doing that. So, and then I don't know, like I've never physically seen Hekate either. Um, but I spoke with her telepathically, so I know that it's there. I have the ability to do that, so that's what I want to tap back into. And I don't want to have to be on plant medicine or whatever to do it. I want to be able to just, speak with her and get answers. And like I said, the automatic writing is a little bit different. I don't hear her voice. I just get the message and write it down. But you really mean a lot to me. I want to change. Thank you, Joe. You mean a lot to me too. Hey, Bobby, how are you?
What is
So,
what is channeling gonna look like for you, like, or what you're hoping it's gonna look like for you, like on a live? I mean, would you like answer questions or like,
yeah,
okay,
that's what I would like. Thank you for the roses. That's what I would like to do. Is give people clarity on anything, any situation they may, kind of like I do now with the divination. I use her to help me with my divination. She 100%. When I light my incense and I call on her, I can see the end of the incense spark, and that's how I know that she's with me. It's so crazy. I've never seen that happen before until I started calling. Thank you, Rosie, for the finger hearts. Thank you so much. Um, so yeah, it would be like using cards and answering questions, kind of like do you know Robin the Oracle on here?
I don't. Mm-mm.
Okay, well, he channels
Okay.
Aziel. It's an angel.
Okay.
So it's kind of similar to that, just helping people, giving them guidance and clarity on their situation. So,
Yeah, that's amazing. And I wonder too with like with people in their own individual, guides or deity work, I feel like for some, it is channeling and they want to share, and for others, it's like a very private kind of practice thing. And so I don't think there's any limitations or any box that you have to put that in too. But like if you're interested in channeling, I think you should go for it. And like if you're interested in whatever that like whether it's verbal channeling or maybe like messages in that being's persona. For me though, she's kind of mine. Like she's kind of mine. So she helps me with definitely situations in my life, and of course I do astrology readings, and I do believe she helps me with that too.
yeah.
But as far as like people asking questions and me channeling, I think I could. I don't think that that's for me because I think that's too open, and I just for my path, I get in trouble whenever I'm that like open.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know. Like, I guess first it would be a personal thing. I would have to get the connection good and trust that it's her and all that stuff. And hold on one second. My son, can y'all hear that? I need to hold
Just a
on
little.
one.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. We're gonna have him shut his door. um, he's getting a little bit loud with the Nintendo. Um, anyways, okay, so I have been, hold on one second. Sorry about that, mom life. So Bobby says, I have been prompted to start offering readings but holding back. Don't hold back. I love, you did a little angel card reading, Bobby. I think you have some You can do that. Like you have some gifts there. How do I give Dreamstar a gift? Okay, Rosie, you'll have to tap on Ashley's face and then it'll say watch live and you can go over there and give her a gift. Oh,
I
kids,
usually
yes, Britta.
bounce between the two if two of my
I
friends are
know, I
on
do
live.
the
It's
same.
like, yep.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I know, I do the same thing. I'm like, oh, friends, I gotta get
I
both.
wish I wish we could see each other's comment sections though.
I know.
You
That would be
know.
a lot to follow, though, both of them.
Would.
But I have tools, but my art is my strongest channel. Yes, your art is amazing. Yeah, and that's a great way to channel. And the other day, I heard something fabulous, which makes so much sense. But everything you make with your hands, art, if you create something like my crystal grid, things like that, are stored in your Akashic record. So how beautiful is that? Like, I don't know. To me, I'm just like, oh, now I just want to make my Akashic record so pretty. I just do all this art. Like I already do, but get back into like really making stuff like I used to, and the jewelry and stuff. I actually have. I was gonna share. It's not Reggie, but
Okay.
this is this is a drawing I'm working on of Hecate, and so I don't know if y'all can see it. There she
It's
is.
beautiful.
There's the moon above her. And then I have a doggy over here and a torch over here. So it'll be much better. It's going to have crystals down at the bottom. And then I'm going to probably use like watercolor markers and matte pencils and
Yeah.
things. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
she
have
has the three heads. So there's a face there and a face there.
oh, it's beautiful. I love that. I have a friend who does
Thank
the
you.
the same thing, and she does end up doing oil paints over it. But
Mm.
she always sketches out on the canvas first, and then yeah.
I'm not
Um,
gonna do paints probably with this one because I think it's gonna be too intricate. But I got like really awesome sketch pens, and then I have watercolor markers, and I have matte pencils. So it'll probably be like a conglomeration of each. So.
Rosie says, "Wow, you're talented." I know you can't see her, but she says,
What's
Rosie
it?
says you're talented.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And Missy says, I love her. Thank you. And Britta says, oh, she's lovely. Thank you. Bobby says, love it. Thank you. It's very beautiful. Thank you so much, guys. I don't
Thank
want
you,
to miss
Rosie.
anybody's comment. Okay. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate y'all. Okay. I think I got it all. Yes, you love art. Me too. And I used to do so much more. Like, I need to get back into it. Like, I've made like so many of my pieces around, not this one, but this is one of my favorite pieces too that somebody bought me. All my pieces of art around my house are like I created. And I used to take like I don't want to say trash, but like junk and like create something beautiful out of it. So I want to do that again. Like I don't know. My sister always said I should have like a show on something like HGTV or something where I make trash into treasure.
Isn't that what they do
But
on American Pickers? Isn't that kind of what they do? Like
yeah,
they
yeah.
restore and
Mhm.
yeah, and all of that. Hi, Joe.
But I'll
Thank
turn
you.
it into
Oh,
something completely different. Like not just restore it, but like make it something new. So I don't know.
yes, absolutely. I cannot do art
No?
in that way. No. I'm like the world's worst Pictionary contestant.
Oh.
Yeah, I can do abstract things, but that's not my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse is much more like writing and
Mm.
words and astrology. But I did make this door frame or like this door decal, and it was basically my sigil that I got from Caradwyn, which is
Mhm.
that's a whole nother deal. But I made it out of sticks that I found and twine and baby's breath, and I put a witch bell on it, and it turned out fire. I was so proud.
Awesome. See, you have talents. You can do
Just has to be very
it.
abstract. Yeah, like if I were to draw you, you'd be offended. I guess that's just not what I can do.
Yeah. Well, I haven't drawn in so long, so I was surprised that came out as good as it did. I was like, wow, I still got it. But I like doing a lot of abstract stuff too. So, hey Joe, how are you? Another Joe is here. Um, so yeah, that's cool. What else can we talk about?
Well, I wanted to know, like, so for people that maybe don't understand like what we mean by working with a guide or working with a deity.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to explain like your practical process, like how that like shows up in your daily life?
Hmm. Well, I do daily readings for myself, so that, of course, whenever I just need strength, or encouragement, I call on her and she'll give me a sign that she's with me. Like the other night, I'll share here since I haven't shared publicly yet. Um,
Okay.
but I did share on Cubs group, in a truth. Um, so I did a little bit of plant medicine the other night. It was the night before the eclipse. I had Monday off, so Sunday evening, I'm in my sanctuary outside. It's a puppy pen so that I can get away from the puppies. They're out in the yard now, so I'm in the pen and I'm in my zero gravity chair, like laying back, looking at the stars. And I called on. You need to do some plant medicine. That's funny, Rosie. Yeah, you should. I just got some mushroom candy at the vape shop. So, um, okay. So, and I was like, I had just got a sign from my mom and my grandma who had both passed, because there was two cardinals in my yard, and I was like, I know that was y'all, and I was speaking to Hecate too, but really I had called out, because what remembered lives. That speaks volumes to me. Because if you just say the name, it's honoring them. Because how often do people say somebody's name who's passed? Not often. People may think of somebody that's passed, but to actually say their name out loud is carrying their legacy on, you know. So I just was saying their name, and then I just was like, I know that y'all are with me, and I feel y'all, and I see signs from y'all, but could you just give me a sign right now? And as soon as I said that, the puppy bowl inside the pen started spinning. And it's a metal bowl, and it was dark, but I could hear it. It's just spinning. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I got up and I sat up and turned the flashlight on it, and it stopped. But I knew that was them because it was like immediately. So, just that encouragement, I don't know, just to know that they're there is like a daily thing that I need. It just helps me get through, because not having a mom, I really do look at Hecate as a spirit mother. She's a great guide. And like I said, she's, to me, just the divine mother essence. So,
Yeah. When you can tell her I said hi and that, I'm still for the dream,
awesome.
you know?
For sure.
I love what you said though about the remembrance, because that's one thing that gets me sometimes. I think about, hi Ali, I think about the sleeping gods or the dying gods, right? And the idea of them getting smaller and smaller and smaller and being diminished because they don't have the acknowledgement or the worship. I think about, and I won't like be controversial with this, but I think about some religious sites, like one maybe like in Mecca, where, we have a lot of evidence that that was originally a temple to goddess worship. And now that's completely, erased. And so I love the idea of bringing back, even in our own ways, our own lives, the divine feminine again, because it's just so torn down.
Yes. Yes. And I feel like she's really making her presence known right now, she's back, and it's like we're all waking up to the fact that it's not just Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It's a male. It's it's a divine mother and father and child, and we are the child. And so I just think it's beautiful that so many of us can have that connection. Because like I said, like I didn't have a mom, and then I had an evil stepmom, and then it just never, yeah, it was never like that figure in my life. Yeah, the feminine energy is back. Yes, quantum energy. Yes, we're
Missy
all
says,
very
rise
connected.
queens. I
Huh?
Missy says rise queens, and
Yes.
I totally agree
Yes.
with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like I consider this our earthly mother's kingdom, the heavenly father's kingdom, the earthly mother's kingdom, because I feel like it's a shadow of the heavenly father's kingdom, but it's because feminine energy is dark energy, you know, and it's the duality. And so I feel like I don't know, like she's here to kind of like balance that out, you know.
Yeah. Rosie says that we need to do more lives together.
Okay. Oops.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think I agree. I think we should.
Yeah, it's fun.
I love the idea too of what you just said about the dark energy, because I feel like part of the reason that it might have been easier to have a rise of patriarchy and erase, the feminine aspect of divine, is because have you ever, okay, this will be like a segue, but have you ever seen the very ancient statues? Like we're talking like I think it might even be like Proto-Sumerian statues where they'll have like the goddesses were like this big, right? And like in between their legs are it's jagged. Like it's like yeah, it's like it's basically some of the theories of like if you make the divine goddess angry, then she will bite you with that part of her.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
There's a whole movie about it, which is not based on, real mythology, but it's very interesting. It's called Teeth. But I think that I've said it a lot, that I think that darkness or that fear of the unknown that is feminine is
Hmm.
what's scary to people. And I think that's where we get the witches and the fear of, magic and the occult. Anything that's hidden and not obvious can be scary to people.
Yeah. But like to me it's beautiful. It's like the night, the moon, you know, the things that, you know, I resonate more with. Yeah, sure, I love the sun and I love being out during the day. But I don't know, it's something about the the magic in the night, you know, the mysteriousness and all that. Hey, how are you? Good evening, Brinlins. Um,
I live for the night. I mean,
yeah.
I don't like the
Yeah.
morning all that much.
Yeah, I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
I love seeing you. Oh, thank you, Joe. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like you know, like I feel like source is both masculine and feminine. Like in the beginning there was the light that hovered over the waters. That water is feminine energy. You know, the light is the masculine energy. So it takes both to create, you know. So
And what about the
YouTube.
idea of the pendulum swing where, we've gone so far into the masculine, and I think most of us do want harmony and balance, but with the pendulum, will it eventually go so far back to the feminine before it balances? I don't know what that looks like. I don't want to, or is that actually what is happening in the more mainstream? Where like if you're just kind of any woman on this planet and you want to have your rights and you want to have feminism and things like that, like is that just maybe more of like a superficial way to bring back the divine feminine? We also need to do it on a spiritual way. I don't know what it'll look like.
I think it's happening in the spiritual first, and then it's trickling down to the physical. So, I feel like she's back, like to set the record straight. I guess, kind of like just so that people wake up to her, and then it's. Sorry, my phone just went really dark. Let me turn up my screen. Why did it do that? I don't know. Okay, sorry. I don't think one should be over the other. It's a balance. I don't say this because I am masculine. Yes, Joe, I agree. One should not be over the other. I just feel like she was forgotten about for so long. Hey, Cam, how are you? Thank you for joining. But I feel like it's just like she has to make her presence known because like she was literally erased. So it's not like one should be over the other. But I feel like it's just gonna be more of a she's in your face now, and then it's gonna balance back out between the two. Thank you so much for the roses, Cub. Thank
I
you.
hope so. I hope that's how it works out. But do you wonder too with the ancient mythologies of how there was a matriarchy, right? Then it turned to a patriarchy. Like, is there ever a time where we just don't have the archy?
Hmm.
We just have like a friend archy, like all of us.
Like friend doors, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
Like
Like
coined a new
friend
word. Yeah.
Landos. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I would hope so. Uh
Thank you, Ali.
Archelius. I'm not sure you would say that. Yeah, Oh, thank you so much, uh, Allie, for the roses. I'm not sure. I think that yes, it will balance back out, but I feel like there's going to be definitely more of a not like a matriarchal, just like a waking up to the feminine. Because thank you so much, Allie. She sent me a zodiac wheel too. Thank you so much. Um, without the arc, yeah, I got. Oh, okay, arcless. Sorry,
Oh, yep.
without the arc, yeah. Yeah, I agree. It'll balance out, but I feel like first it's gonna go more towards the feminine, but not like as a power structure thing, just more of like an awakening to her. So I don't know what that'll look like exactly, but yeah.
I have a comment here that maybe women and goddesses need to be more respected, and that will help the balance. And yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely agree. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the difference is too, though, with like a shift from matriarchy to patriarchy, is that that is simply stripped or taken, where I don't think that that's how women would want to take back
No.
power by just stripping and tearing down. I
No.
think it's yeah.
The divine feminine is definitely healing the masculine energy. You know what I'm saying? We're helping the masculine by healing and allowing them to step in and heal too. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that, yeah, I think it's more of we're allowing it to, yeah. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but the divine feminine doesn't want yeah, a matriarchal thing. It's more of like, we want balance and we're going to show you how it's done, you know? Oh, thank you so much for the galaxy. Thank you. I
I
appreciate
definitely.
you so much. Yeah.
If we were to simply, try and take it back, I think that wouldn't be a permanent solution, right? It would just cause more back and forth. But if hearts are changing and spirits are changing, and then there's just a relinquishment of like, hey, let's give and take in exchange, that would be like a lot more permanent than us just being like, okay, we're going to be in charge now. And honestly, I
Yeah.
don't want to be in charge of a whole lot. I want to be in charge of the stuff that I like. I don't want to be in charge of like, building bridges and stuff. So,
Yeah. I think the women will probably be more of the spiritual, side. Like we won't see as many pastors as males. It'll be more of like female-led spirituality rather, and I don't know. I feel like it needs to happen in order to both heal and to both is Jacob said or Cub said the boys need that so bad most are asleep and scared. Yeah, exactly. It's like we're the nurturers, the comforters, so we need to know how to do it together and balance a balanced equation of divine masculine and divine feminine is a must. Follow our passion is your job. Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah. Yeah. It's about just healing, everybody healing together and then creating that society that we can both be equal and, you know, exactly. Yes.
and
Hey,
then too,
Princess, how are you?
one of the things that we can do and that we do kind of naturally, at least for an evolved, divine feminine figure, is that
Mhm.
like when someone comes to a realization and they want to change and they want to be better, we can create space for them where that's okay, and they won't get the huge chastisement. Like we are more concerned about the result
Right.
than being right, or I told you, or like now I'm going to hold it against you. And I think if we stay in that
Create a
mindset,
safe
just as
space. Yeah.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly. Like you can still cry on my lap even though you hurt me,
Mhm.
and that's okay. And that's kind
Mhm.
of like how you would want your mother to treat you.
Yep. We forgive and forgive and forgive, We are always there. No matter what, we hold space. And so, yeah, I think it's definitely needed. We have like the toxic masculinity. I want to say they're wounded. It's not toxic. And we are too. We're the wounded healers that, you know, um, for sure. And I think it's just like the divine union, the eclipse showed us like the moon and the sun uniting, the masculine and feminine energy uniting.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Well, and when we have
Yeah.
generations of people that have been told how they can gain favor from the feminine and from women, and that's such a slap in the face to what we actually do have to offer. um, it's probably hard. Rejection in that way can be really hard and hard to heal from if you feel like you're never, going to be good enough. I did all the things that I was supposed to do. And that's why I really don't think we need teachers to tell us how to treat each other. We've just been indoctrinated. Like, I don't think I needed a teacher to tell me like how to like talk to a classmate, male or female on the playground with respect. I think it got real warped along the
Yeah, I
way.
think kids, when they're, good evening, young blood, how are you? Are naturally, they know what to do and they're naturally spiritual. They're naturally, we indoctrinate them and like educate them and, it's really, I just like my kid to be a kid, and not put all that pressure of, oh, that's weird. Oh, don't do that, all that stuff. Be weird, be, be you, do what you do. And, feel safe and secure in yourself. Don't like be like, oh, I can't do this because it's weird. Like, I don't know. So my kid's a weirdo like me. I'm glad you're blessed. Thank you. Yes, I'm doing good. Hi, Bree. How are you? Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just admiring your lamp, to be honest with you. I
Oh,
was admiring your light
thanks.
fixture. It's so cute.
Thanks. This lamp was left here by the previous renter, so it's like cool. Yeah, I found it in the closet. I was like, oh, I'm hanging that up.
We had that too,
It's a
but nothing
halo.
nothing cool. It was like it's like these signs. It's love always, choose joy, enjoy life. I'm
Mm.
kind of more of like an Addams Family theme, but just throw in some pink. And so it's not really my thing,
Cute.
but I left them up. It's a good message.
Cute, cute.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
this painting is from a friend, actually an ex of mine. It's fitting though, because you can't tell, but there's actual newspapers in the artwork, like and then like painted over and stuff. Yeah, you can't see it
Yeah.
unless you're really close, but there's like newspapers in there, and now I work in newspapers, so I don't know if Oh my
I
goodness, what is that? Oh my god, thank you so much. That is so cool. What a Rosa Nebula. Oh my gosh. That was beautiful.
I'm
Oh my
letting
god.
Rosie see
Thank
my
you.
background.
Yeah,
That's
that's
my
cool.
own tapestry, and this is like a picture I took of it cause since I took a picture of it, it looks like it's actually behind me, and I don't have to worry about the lighting. But
Oh,
I got it on Temu, and it was like really cheap. But
that's
yeah,
cute. Yeah, I've seen Hecate tapestries. I got this shirt. Oh no, what is my phone doing? Oh, I gotta do a puzzle. Hold on.
isn't that annoying?
Yeah. Okay. I was like, what is that little oh,
Yep.
what is that little wheel doing? But yeah, okay, I got it. Thank you so much for all the gifts, Ollie. Thank you. You're amazing. Um,
Holly is wonderful.
I know. I
So
love
many
him.
people in here are very wonderful souls.
Yes, they are. Rosie, you have to do a puzzle to prove you're a human, I guess, and not a bot or something.
Yeah. Also, I think because people will sleep on the lives just to get like their time, yeah,
Oh my
it's there.
What? That's crazy. I did run into that before. Like I came into a live and somebody was snoring. I'm like, do they realize they're asleep?
They
I
do.
mean,
I think
do they
yeah, they do, but like I mean, you do you. There's so much on this app that is, it's the wild, wild west of the internet.
Right. I love it. This is great though. I've like connected with so many people that I consider soul family, through this app. And I was so hesitant to get on TikTok for so long because of all the oh, it's China, it's like,
Yeah.
just the conspiracies behind it, I guess. I don't know. But once I did, I was like, why did I wait so long?
Yeah, I wish I hadn't waited too, but the reason I didn't do it right away is because I just never I didn't like Instagram ever that much. Like Instagram wasn't my thing and there wasn't enough humor on there because that's like why I came on the internet. But the reels on Facebook, I could never watch the whole thing at first, right? So I decided to finally download. Actually, I'll tell you, I downloaded TikTok because of this creator, my first one I ever followed, and his name used to be Smee Ghost, but now it's Ragnarok Johnson, and he does the best kind of retellings or questioning, like the Bible, like compared to like Norse mythology or Egyptian mythology, and correlates them. So yeah, that's why I got on TikTok, and I wish I had done it sooner.
I got on just to start making content. And so then I found like all beautiful souls and just like there's just so much talent and like the readings and like all the things I love. Um I even like ASMR at night. Like I'm like all about TikTok now. But what was
Did
I
you
gonna
ever
say?
decide if you were gonna do your own ASMR?
Me? Did
Yeah,
I
I thought
say
you were
that I was
talking about
gonna do
that for
that?
a little bit. Like, I don't know, maybe you're joking, but you talked about doing like
Oh,
the like AI voice.
oh, I was kidding. No,
Okay,
if
I
you
didn't
see
know.
me,
I believed you. I've been waiting.
no, no. I guess like during my lives, like when I get the gifts, I like get excited and I want to do like a little thing. So I was like, I should do that, but no, um, because I can't just sit there and
Right,
like
I know the bouncing when you get emotional.
like that's just so I have to interact. So I would not be a good NPC. Um, I've connected through source beyond the human mind. Joe says that's amazing, awesome. Yeah. So are you channeling cheer? Rosie says cheer. I'm not sure what that means, but no, I like interacting with the gifts when I can. They're fun.
Yeah,
Did
the
you see
gifts really
my
are fun. Some other apps need to step that game up because TikTok really makes that enjoyable for sure.
Yeah, and I've never been on Instagram lives or like really hung out on Instagram much. I had an Instagram when it like originally came out, like
Same.
20 years ago or whatever it was. And before anybody else was on Instagram, I was on Instagram. And I
Wasn't
had,
that long ago, was it? No, it's not that long
yes,
ago.
it was a
Nah,
long time ago.
20, no, that's crazy.
I was 25, 24, so 12 years ago, 12 or 15, something like that. So I had it for like 10 years and all of a sudden they took it. They just wiped my Instagram because I was into conspiracies and political stuff and I was posting a lot of things that were controversial. So I was so upset because I had like everything on like all my pictures like from my dogs, like any trips I would take, I would put on Instagram and then also to Facebook. It would be like,
Yeah.
but I would make them pretty on Instagram. That's why I liked it. Um, and so once they took that, I was just kind of womp womp. I made a new one for this, but I don't know. It's not the same.
Of like having everything like on Instagram that you had on Facebook. Yeah, that was fun. But Facebook, I got a Facebook when I was 15. Yeah, 15. So that was 2007.
Me too. 2007. I wasn't 15, but 2007.
Well, I got it like the year, like the second they let high schoolers do it, I was like, bet. And I was homeschooled, so I had to get someone like to say that I went to their school, like a different friend, because homeschoolers didn't count, I guess. So I don't
Oh,
know.
weird. I didn't know you had to be. Oh, thank you. In homeschool or in school to use it.
It started out college, like, because that's, where Zuck was and created it for just college. And then, like, if you wanted to get in, one of your classmates had to confirm that you were a student at that university. And then it went to other universities outside of Yale.
Sorry. That's so crazy because I wasn't in college or anything, and it was 2007, so I thought it was open to anybody at that point.
Maybe, and perhaps that was the year that it shifted, but I do remember when I got it, it was either late 2006 or early 2007. I had to get one of my friends to lie and say I went to their Minnesota high school. Otherwise, homeschooling one couldn't be in that higher
That's
education,
wild.
or you ain't gonna be Facebooking.
That's wild. Yeah, Facebook. I don't think I mean, I don't think that's ever gonna go away now. That's a permanent.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, Instagram made well, no, now they're open Facebook. So thank Oh, thank you. Thank you for the finger heart, Rosie. Thank you so much. Um, what else do we have? Like Clapper, and that just sounds like an STD or something. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get on there. What else? Because
I'm
I
on
know TikTok may be phasing out, so we have to find
Yeah.
a new way to do lives together.
I'm on Clapper.
Are you?
It's quite something. I don't do as much on it as I did like in the summer when I was trying to have a backup just in case TikTok, all the things. But there's a lot of risque content on
Oh,
Clapper. There
cool.
is, yeah. And they have like not as many rules as they have here, but anyone can go live. Like you don't have to have a certain amount of followers, and they tip like the tips are. I don't know. It's like this creator run community. So there's a lot of the creators just spend all their tips to support other creators, and it's cool. I just feel like I don't belong. I feel like, they'll be like, okay, like, thank you for the reading. Now, why are your clothes still on? And I just, that's not really the scene that I'm
My
trying to present.
goodness.
That's not for
Oh,
everyone on Clapper. I do know that because there's people that'll knit and crochet on there too, but there's like no middle ground. It's like either that or,
they just
yeah.
let anything go over there. That's kind of
And I'm
crazy.
sure that that won't be a permanent thing. It might have even changed since I was really active on there, but yeah, like I didn't know you could make so much money just like being in the shower. I didn't do that, but I saw, other lives scrolling through like, you don't see anything, nothing, you just know that that person's in there. And so, yeah, it's just interesting
Interesting.
how people choose to make money on the
Well,
internet.
then the name is fitting. And like I said, it doesn't sound good. It sounds like something you don't want to get. Um, and then what's the other one? Threads. Have you tried that?
Because that's
Meaning,
connected to Instagram, right?
I think
Or is it
so.
to
I don't know why we need
TikTok?
all these, but I think so. And then X. I'm on X, but I never do anything over there either. But I heard that they have good lives. Like, if
Yeah,
you want like into the conspiracies and stuff, I heard that's a good place to go.
that is kind of the good place. And I know what they call them too. I can't think of it, but I have been
Rooms?
on,
Is it
yeah,
room?
yeah, rooms. Yeah, rooms. I think you're right.
I think so.
Um, yeah, there's some numerology people on X that I really like, but I always forget to go in there
Mhm.
and look for them. And so I kind of live, I kind of live on TikTok with y'all.
Same. Same. I don't think they'll take it away. I think somebody will buy it and or something. Something will happen. It'll shift and it'll still be here. Know that I love you all. We love you, Joe. Thank you.
Did you hear about Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank saying like if anything happens, he'll just buy TikTok? Yeah,
No.
there's a whole video about it. I laughed a lot.
I think somebody will because I mean, I don't know. It's too good. Like, and if we're not gonna stand up for nothing else, we better stand up for TikTok. Americans better revolution or whatever, revolt and get stand up for our social media because
Yeah, I totally
we
agree.
will lay down and bend over for everything else. Let's let's stand up for our
Well,
TikTok.
like I think what we let happen to Vine, we can never let happen to TikTok because
Yeah,
I have not been the same since my Vines have been gone. Like
I was into Vine.
I was hook, line, and sinker. I still go
Oh
back on
wow.
TikTok and go over to the Vines channel and watch the old ones. I just did it yesterday.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
that was
I didn't know
like
you could do
my
that.
age
Oh.
time. So yeah, and they took it away. They stole it
Oh.
away from me.
I didn't
So I'm
even
not
know.
gonna let that happen. Not gonna let that happen to TikTok.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I have a feeling that something will shift. We'll make it through, but we'll see.
I also saw that if like even if part of it is like held in China, corporations are seen like entities, right, or individuals, and so it would be very hard for them to do it. And I don't know. Is there anything we can really do about it though, other
Yeah.
than yeah, other
We can boycott every other one because that's how they
I
know what
would do
we're
it.
doing. I mean, they keep tabs through Facebook. It was like originally, you know, or still is, I'm sure. Like, but wasn't it like what was it called before? What was Facebook before it was Facebook? It was like the
Oh,
CIA did, you know?
yeah. Um,
I can't
I
remember what it's
know
called,
this.
but
I
it
know. I know. Was it like Flip Book or a Flip? Something with Flip. I thought. I just heard this the other day. Dang it.
but it was like created by the CIA, I think, to keep tabs on us. So I know that
I,
they're gonna want that. So we'll just have to like, boycott Facebook, boycott Instagram, everything else, and then hopefully they'll give us our TikTok back. Absolutely, Rosie said.
there are
Yes.
so many things about Zuck, too, and like like with him being connected to certain families. But I mean, I didn't really care about any of that kind of conspiracy until the barbecue sauce incident. Because why did he have barbecue sauce on his bookshelf? Like, no human keeps barbecue sauce on their bookshelf. Have you seen it went everywhere just like a few years back? It's just Zuck in his office and he's got like Sweet Baby Ray's on the bookshelf. And the caption of it was like, yeah, humans keep that on their bookshelf, right? So ever since
That's
then, I'm
crazy.
like, man, I don't know.
So what was in that barbecue bottle?
I know, right? And why was it next to all your books? Like, it's just very, I don't know. I don't know.
Things that make you go, hmm.
Yes. Yeah, very, very much so. I'm gonna have to look up now what it was called before Facebook because I do know the answer to that. But yeah, it was only for Yale students, and now look what it is. I
Yeah.
kind of miss us having some of the apps like to ourselves as younger people, though. Because now the younger people, they don't really have that. Like, they got to deal with like the entire world on their social medias where, we were just kind of like saying, like, hey, who's going to Sarah's?
Right. It was more, yeah,
Yeah,
like just the young folks. Now everybody and their mama and daddy and grandma and grandpa and everybody's on there. Which,
absolutely. I feel that.
good for them. It's a way for everybody to keep in touch. So, you know.
It is. Yeah. I can't believe how much I can believe it, but the internet is just so much a part of our life now.
Oh yeah. I know, and it's so weird. I have to tell y'all something. Whenever I whenever I do plant medicine. It's so weird how I interact with my phone. I wanted to tell y'all this because it's almost like I feel like y'all can see me back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm like in this altered state of mind where like I don't know. Does that make sense? Like I'll be talking to somebody and then like I don't know. I feel like they can see everything I'm doing on my end too, and it's such a weird feeling. Like you interact like on a deeper level with your devices when you're on like a mushroom. I'll just say it.
Yeah.
So
See. So they made a version of what you have access to where you are. Here where I am. Sorry, that's my here where I am. And I did partake, okay? But it didn't do anything for me. It didn't do anything, and I took enough. I'll just say I took enough. And so I'm just wondering like I'm wondering what my next step will be with that. But if it comes to find out that I'm like totally immune to it, I'm gonna be very upset.
well, okay, so we don't have the psilocybin at the shops, but
Yeah, we don't either.
it's so weird. The one that I did for my Kundalini awakening, I thought for sure that a lot of it was like because of the plant medicine, right? But like I knew that something spiritual happened, obviously.
Yeah.
But um, so I did that same kind two more times and nothing. So
Really?
it wasn't that
That's interesting.
at all. Yeah. And then my sister did it, who hasn't done anything in years. Nothing. So I
That is
know that it was like all spiritual. None of the medicine really, you know?
awesome. That's awesome
Yeah.
for you because I remember that night when you called me, and you were,
Yeah, you were the first person I talked to about it.
yeah, you were just like you were all in. Like there was no, lie, and you were coherent. Like it was very much, yeah. So I'm not surprised. I wondered at first if it was like kind of like the first time I ever, like did the Green Goddess, like nothing happened to me, And so like then I tried again and still nothing
Mhm.
happened. And but my partner tried it and it's been great and really relaxing and stuff. So it's not like a defective product. It's just not like working on me and I want it to, you know?
Yeah, well, so that one didn't work, but I did try some more gummies, and there's actually one called Dots. You may try that. It's the Amanita muscaria. You can just purchase it online, but they're called
Okay.
Dots gummies. Um, and so those are good for like if you just want to take relax and have really vivid dreams or really vivid like meditations. Those are good. They don't keep you up like the other ones.
I'll have to look into that. The ones that we have are called like mushy squares or mushy cubes.
Hmm.
Something like that. They're like blue. Well, they have a lot of different flavors, but they're blue and they taste like really strong blue raspberry, like blue Jolly Rancher.
Yeah. Yeah, these are gummies, like all different flavors. And then the other ones I like are called, oh shoot, enjoyables. Enjoyables.
Okay.
And they, I'm not sure which kind they are, but they do like more of like a traditional mushroom, like a field mushroom. So yeah,
I
I
mean,
went
I
to
would like
Kansas
to
though.
go somewhere where, it is okay to do so and do the full thing because I never have.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I never
I
have. I'm
I
a
did like
virgin.
a lot when I was younger. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. It was because it was right here in our pasture. Like we could literally
Oh,
go out
really?
every day. Yeah, and we would harvest them. And so,
Wow.
like, I literally was microdosing before it was a thing. Like, I used
Wow.
to just do them every day. So,
That's And like, see, I feel like that is very brave and like kind of like badass of you because what if you were wrong? Like, how did you know for sure that this was like a good, okay type to have? Or were you just like, well, I guess we'll find out?
no, because it's so common here. We've been doing it since we were young, and we know what
Yeah.
to get. You go for the cow patties. You get the ones you open them, and they're kind of bluish on the inside, and there you
A
go.
very telltale.
Huh?
I have a very telltale that you
Yeah.
like, it's obvious which
Yeah,
kind.
yeah. There's it's very yeah. There's no other ones like that that you would get confused with around here. You know, you have the really really white ones that don't look like it at all. They're like a tannish color on top, and yeah, they just grow in a certain spot. You know how they grow together in a group, anyways. So you just get to know them.
I wonder, so the thing with me and mushrooms, the food, like we're just talking about the food, um, I hate them. I love mushroom flavor, but I have that thing
Texture.
called trypophobia.
The
And
texture.
so it's the texture, but I mean really what it is it is a fear of clusters of holes, right? It's yeah, it's a
I've never
hole.
heard of
And the way that I found that out was just not okay. But it applies to mushrooms too, and it applies to the what do you call the? I just escaped me, like the ribbing, like the insides, the folds or
it.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
Applies to that too. It's any series of like identical things, especially in an organic compound. It is like it debilitates me. So when it
I've
first
never heard of that.
yeah, when it was first triggered for me, it was somebody had this this lotus flower that they had like superimposed on a man's shoulder. So it looked like that was actually part of him and not just like two separate things. And so that triggered the heck out of me and I had a hard time with it for like 5 days in a row. I was wigging out constantly, like scratching. It's that bad. I don't have any other phobias like it. So
How crazy.
I have to be careful with those and like so with mushrooms they have to be like so tiny and I can't see a single underbelly of the mushroom or it will. So the point of bringing that up is that I wonder if because of that like the mushrooms are like nah you don't get any good effects from us like you're gonna be immune to any of the positive effects because you don't even like us. You know?
I don't think they would be that. I don't think they would
I
judge you for that. But it's funny because I've never had a problem with. I love mushrooms. Like I just ate mushrooms earlier today. But my sister has like the texture thing, so I would like put them on pizza for her and stuff. Like literally like here like cook pizza and then like give it to her like that, or like put them in chocolate so like you just can't taste it.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
See, the flavor is amazing, and like, I like cream of mushroom soup is like really good, and like I love them in pasta, but they have to just be so small because if I were to think about biting into one just like willy-nilly, I think I might pass out. I would just maybe pass out. I don't know. Like I would just, yeah, I would just want to say, okay, that's enough. That's enough for me.
Oh,
That's enough
funny.
reality for me. It's weird though. Do you have any phobias?
I used to be scared of horses. I don't know if I still am. I
You
haven't been
don't
that
know? You haven't
close with
tested
one.
it?
No, I haven't been. I've never ridden one,
Okay.
but like I don't know. They're just too smart for their own good. Like I've heard of too many horror stories of people getting thrown off, bit, trampled, kicked, all the things. Being in Texas, and so I'm scared. Like I stay very far away from horses. Um, Other than that, I can't really think of anything.
Yeah, that's unique. Rosie says horses are incredible animals with huge love capacity. I mean, I like that's just like with the mushrooms. I know the health benefits. I want to drink mushroom tea all the time, but I just don't want to be around it. I don't want to touch it, you know?
Yeah, I think like the last couple times I've seen a horse, I wasn't as scared. I still couldn't go up to it, but I want to work on that. Like that's something I want to work on. Like I want to get into one of those therapy horse type environments where like the equine therapy where
Yep.
and kind of get used to them because eventually one day I want to have like a spiritual retreat center and I want to have horses where people can do that, like ride and connect with them and heal and stuff like that. So,
But instead of like the horses helping you with your, whatever else external thing, the horses are helping you get
yeah,
over
face.
you with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It, like force myself to do it.
Yeah, that's actually hilarious because I know secondhand someone that's very scared of horses because he saw his mom get bit by one when he was
Hmm.
younger. Now that is terrifying. I do understand that because I lived on a dairy farm when I was very young, and the
Hmm.
cows like they don't usually bite, but it's not the chance is not zero, and I've seen it
Right.
happen. It's terrifying.
Hmm.
Their mouths are huge, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kicked right in the head when I was little by a cow.
You were?
That's what's wrong with me.
No, I mean, I've never been kicked by one, not hard,
Mhm.
but I did fall into the gutter when I was 4, and that's actually really dangerous, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, memories. That was like a core memory right there.
Yeah, I grew up around cows, so I'm not as scared of them. Donkeys, kind of. A donkey chased me before, so that was pretty terrifying. Um, we used to like cross fields when I was little, like just go as far as we could, like, and so there'd be donkeys and different properties, and yeah, they're not nice. They're very territorial. So
Is that why they call them like an ass?
I don't know, probably. I have no clue. But that you don't want to mess with them
I
because
got
they like protect their cows or whatever they have on the land too. Yeah, Rosie
I
said
almost
that's
got trampled by a stampede of cows when I was 5. I don't know what got into them. Like the bull was chasing them. I don't know what happened. I was 5, but it was on my family farm, and I just remember all of a sudden I was hearing something, and the neighbor boy in a cowboy hat and everything. Like this is like northern Minnesota. He's probably like maybe 2 or 3 years older than me, and I remember like the cows. Like I kind of froze as the cows are running towards the house, and I'm like in between the house and a tree. Like I can't just like easily go anywhere. And he just comes. I'm not. This is not a lie, and it's not a dream. But he comes on the tire swing, and he like picks me up and he like swings me like over to where like the other trees are, and we're like in the trees, and the cows aren't going to stampede, and he saved my life.
Oh my
Yeah, he was
gosh.
wooing you. Yes, he was wooing me. I know. I literally had the biggest crush on him, and that set the standard for like damsel hero scenarios that did not come for the rest of my life.
Wow. That's so funny.
Yeah,
How
but
crazy.
it is. It is
Cowboys to
crazy.
the rescue.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. His name was Chase. Never forget it. Yeah, I wonder if he's still saving girls from stampedes.
How funny.
Yeah, Rosie says Tarzan.
Oh, here comes my dog. Hi, Coda. Oh, well, um, yeah, that's fun. Reminiscing. Yeah, I've had many encounters with. Oh, we've been live for 90 minutes. It says. Don't forget to take a break. Okay, we got it, TikTok. Thank you for the advice. Um, let's see. What else can we talk about? The
I have a
eclipse
little.
energy that's going to last a year. What do you mean by that exactly? Like, I know eclipse season, that's only like what, 6 months or so? But I mean, the energy is like lingering for the whole year. So, what can we expect from that? Because I want to talk about astrology. That's your forte, and I'm very interested. So,
Yeah, that's no, that's a great question. So, like the eclipse cycles are every 6 months. You know, every 6 months we're gonna have a solar eclipse somewhere in the world, at least one, up to four. You know, you can have in a year just up to four. But you'll have these lunar and solar eclipses every 6 months. But the reason that the this particular eclipse cycle would last for a year is because we're gonna have these themes again in the fall when the sun won't be anywhere near Aries. It won't be a spring eclipse cycle, right? And so it's thought that the eclipse energy is the most potent until we get into the fall eclipse, kind of like the equinoxes, but it won't come full circle until the next spring eclipse cycle, like a spring equinox.
okay, got you. So, are we feeling like some of the same energies as the last eclipse that we had in October? Like, would you say it's kind of like a completion of that, or is it an extension of that?
It yes, yes and no. I would say that like for sure, like that is an important time stamp or energy stamp. But this eclipse does kind of overshadow it being total instead of annular. And so I think it's like ripple in water, right? You know, you put
Mm.
the rock in and it ripples out and then eventually it calms down, you know, and evens out. And so I think that's probably depending on the individual. But this, you know, this April 8th, once we see it, once we see the eclipse season for the spring start again next year, that's kind of when it will come to an end. However, um, it's not like an end, right? Like it's not like the end of it. It would just be the end of like the potent energies when you snapshot the sky. So for example, with this eclipse, we had Venus involved, Jupiter involved, Mercury retrograde, we had Chiron in the sky, we had the Devil Comet, and we have Icarus. We have all these kind of things happening. And so next eclipse spring cycle, the
Mhm.
sky will be totally different. We'll have totally new energies come through.
Okay, so we're just going to have a lasting effect of this sky imprint, kind of.
Hmm.
And then the
Right.
next one will have a new imprint on us. Okay.
Exactly. Well, and especially since, you know, when we look at next spring too, and I'm talking about on a global scale, right?
Mhm.
But for us who were able to experience the eclipse and have it here, it might be longer, right? You know, it might be longer until the next, because the next solar eclipse cycle for the spring will happen at a different part of the world.
Mhm.
You know,
Gotcha.
so like, yeah, does it stay longer? I don't know, just because I haven't been doing this long enough to experience more than two eclipses.
Right. There was one in 2017, but I wasn't really aware of it, I guess. Or I don't know, maybe because I wasn't like into spirituality as much. It didn't really, like I didn't. really take any notice of it. But what do you have anything in particular for Scorpios and what it could like mean for us that you could kind of drop on me?
Yeah, so the water signs for this eclipse cycle, we get we get a little bit of not like a pass, but it's not as it could be for some other signs that might feel this a little bit stronger. However, with Scorpio, co-ruled by Mars and Pluto, then I have to think about Mars and Pluto in the equation. And so, where Mars has been for this eclipse is with Saturn and Pisces. And they don't really like to, neither of them really like to be in Pisces.
Oh,
And so these are both of the malefic planets. And so it affects everything from spirituality. The good news is this conjunction only lasts until I believe the 25th of April or the 30th of April. I get confused because I can't remember when it's Mercury won't be retrograde and those two will split and it's one is on the 25th, one's on the 30th of April. So there could be some spiritual confusion for people that have Mars affecting their sun sign. And so, what I mean about spiritual confusion is maybe it's hard to like put pen to paper. Maybe there's too many different things that you want to be practicing or studying. But mostly it's just because like Mars wants to do everything all at once. It wants to hit the ground running and go. And Saturn is about restriction and stepping on the brakes.
hmm.
And so when we have that affecting Pisces, the area of spirituality for Scorpio, such a spiritual sign, those it can just be like a lot of like touch and go, like two steps forward,
Hmm.
3 steps back, that kind of thing. When it comes to spirituality, when it comes to institutions, hospitals, religion, charity, the homeless, um, anything, even it can have some to do with higher learning. Probably not for a Scorpio though. So yeah, those are the kind of themes for really any water sign, but especially this is going to be true for Pisces and Scorpios.
Awesome. Rosie said, "What about Cancer?" So that was all water signs, but
Yep.
um,
Cancers just get a little bit cancers won't be as affected by this just because we don't okay. Okay, so cancers won't be as affected by this long term, I should say. Cancers would have been affected by this like nobody's business on the 2.5 days where the moon was in Aries. Cancers probably went through it for the eclipse. Like the most amount of emotions, the most amount of anger, frustration, but also releasing. Just yeah, the emotions must have been very high. And cancers might have gotten like a burst of energy too. But I just for longer term, since that moon phase was only 2.5 days, cancers kind of get to even out now and do what they want.
does it affect fixed signs versus mutable signs differently?
It does, yeah. I do think that it does affect because, like for example, even the eclipse was thought to affect um, like fixed and cardinal signs more than mutable signs, just because of Aries, right? And just because of Mars being in the equation. And so Mars doesn't rule like a single mutable sign. And so, yeah, it is thought that fixed signs would be like the most affected, followed by cardinal and then mutable. But that's only sun sign too. You got to look at your whole chart and you got to also see where Aries is, in your chart to get,
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I'd have to take a look at it. And I
yeah.
wonder where Chiron is in my chart because that had a big effect, right?
Yeah, yep. So Chiron, the way that the sky looks or looked on the eclipse was very similar to how it looked in a lesser eclipse cycle that we had in 2004. Um, and so Chiron has been in the equation for us since 2019. So with the wound patterns, we look
Mhm.
at like 2004, 2005, and then we look at 2019 and see if any two themes that caused wounds for us are popping up. And that can give us a hint for what we're supposed to be healing in the next year. So where Chiron is in your chart, that could definitely help you. And if you know your birth time, you can find it on like I think Astro Seek. I think they have asteroid calculators and stuff like that. But yeah, Chiron is super important. He's probably one of the asteroids that I follow more than any other one. And so, for example, I
18 was when I broke up with my son's father.
like
But I'm not in a relationship, so can't
well,
really affect me there. But
there can still be wounds around that, to heal,
oh
or
yeah,
there can be similar themes that pop up. When it comes to Chiron, I don't think healing is a destination by any means. I think we're constantly going to be doing it. Like, for example, I have Chiron in Cancer, and that is actually in my 12th house, so it's the house of karma.
sorry, my dog. Coda.
So
She's good.
once I identified that Cancer had to do directly tied to my wound of the divine feminine and my mother, I had to go on a journey. I'm still on that journey, and yeah, so it's a lot of looking at yourself and looking at your past.
Yeah, that's weird because it has brought up some things, and like for me to even question like recently about entering into a relationship, like, am I ready? Would I do it? Like, nothing is in the on the radar, but just like, am I healed from what happened? Because it was rough, you know. But so that's been coming up. So that's interesting.
Put in the
Yeah,
work
that
though.
would
I
make
feel
sense.
like it's not like you at this point would be using a new relationship for healing. I mean, you're not just like relationship hopping. And sometimes,
Right.
sometimes when we do pick up the paintbrush again, though, that can be healing, if we've done the work before and we're not just using it as a scapegoat.
Yeah, it's just hard because around here, like literally, like it would be a long distance relationship because there's nothing in this area, and then I've never done that, and that would be kind of terrifying, you know? I don't know. The whole thing about like this even entering into a relationship is terrifying to me now. So, yeah,
Like,
there's definitely some healing to do, but
yeah, no, and that's why Chiron being here is so prevalent. I think for basically everyone over the next, especially year, it's going to be themes around wounds and healing. It's going to be themes around falling. And what I mean by falling is because we got Icarus in the equation, and he flew too close to the sun and fell, right? And
mhm.
so it's going to be, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to fall. It can mean that you're aware to not overreach or fly too close to the sun. And it can mean that adversaries of yours can fall for you to advance too. So those are going to be big themes. And there's going to be a lot of themes around um, relationships and finances. And like, of course, those are big parts of everyone's life. But I think especially just because of where the moon's been in the last eclipse cycle, that'll come around. So when Jupiter comes for us, what he likes to do is he likes to bless the healthy relationships, and he likes to really cut off toxic relationships. So, like, I don't know, man. I think in the next 6 months, if you're not in the relationship for you, it's probably gonna go away, and it'll be like a good thing.
Yeah.
And if you're ready,
So,
then
yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
I want to answer some of Rosie's
Yeah.
questions here. She asked what's a cardinal sign. So there's three different categories of signs so we were talking about. There's the cardinal, the fixed, and the mutable. So for example, Rosie, if you are a Cancer, then you're a cardinal sign. And so what they mean is they have different energies. So the cardinal signs always usher in the season that they're going to go into. Then the fixed signs are going to be in the middle. So they're in like the second set of the elements. And then the mutable signs are in the last set of the elements. So like Pisces is mutable, Leo is fixed. And it's just what it means is basically it's another classification other than elements and gender to kind of show the zodiac's relationships to each other and kind of categorize them. And she also asked, are planets physical entities? And Like I haven't been up there in the physical, but I've been up there in the spiritual, and I believe they 100% are. Otherwise, like my near, experience, my DMT is too strong. If that was all in my head. And then the last thing that she asked was, what is Chiron? So Chiron is an asteroid. In Greek mythology, he is the wounded healer. So I won't go into all of the mythology about him, but basically he sacrifices, and he has a lot of story where he heals everyone else's wounds, and in the end, he's finally able to heal his own, and that's why he's turned into a constellation. And so it's a very beautiful story. But when he's in the picture, he's thought to highlight places that we need to heal our own wounds, so that we can help others. So it's not just about healing. We all have to heal, but this is in the most important place where you can actually take that and help others do the same thing. So
Yeah.
I hope that helps. You're welcome.
I definitely feel like the energy around the Chiron is like the feminine energy of like the wounded healers. We were like the witches and the that were burned at the stake and stuff, and that's the energy type of energy I think is healing right now.
Definitely. And I love when these big, he's a huge asteroid, but I love when they come back around because I like to do not just individual charts, those forward, but even like nations have charts, right? Like, so
Hmm.
like America has a birth chart based on, July 4th. And so Chiron being here with the eclipse over our country, even, I think, is a sign that there's going to be wounds that need to be healed. And some of the themes for our country are actually around the mother, uh, reproduction. And I think we do maybe have some wounds here, for the feminine, that I hope Chiron's here to help us heal on a larger scale.
Definitely. Ollie says, who is the 13th zodiac, the 13th disciple of Christ? So that's Ophiuchus, I think is how it's pronounced. It's the serpent bearer, and I think that is symbolic of Christ. Because, in my opinion, Christ was the serpent in the garden, bringing enlightenment. So, and he's a healer, so the serpents are representative of healers. And actually, Ophiuchus, the character, is a healer. Um, so I know you probably have more on that.
Oh no, I agree. I totally agree. But I always bring Ophiuchus back to Phanes and the Orphic egg. And so Phanes is the light bringer that made the stars. He hatched out of the cosmic egg laid by. Sometimes it's in mythology, it's time and an inevitability got together. Sometimes it's time and the night. But either way, and he's this hermaphroditic deity, who is the first possible figure that a human mind could comprehend. Like we couldn't possibly comprehend the deities that were beyond him. And he made the stars and he made all of creation. And the ancient depictions of him are him with the serpents wrapped around him because the serpents were wrapped around the cosmic egg. And the entire zodiac wheel encircles him.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I view that.
Awesome. That's beautiful. I haven't heard of that mythology, but I definitely I see the resemblance there of the Christ. Uh, you've never heard of that, Ruby? Yeah, there is supposedly a 13th zodiac. Um, like I don't know, it's not officially part of the zodiac, but it is a constellation, a major constellation. Sacred conversation. Thank you, one little witch, Shelby. Thank you. Thank you for the roses, Ollie.
What a cute
Yeah.
name. What a little witch.
Hmm. Yes, we have another witch here.
That was actually one thing. I have a little bit more time if you do. I wanted to ask if you had noticed, like this huge influx of like we're back to witch hatred online.
Yeah,
What
I
is that?
definitely see that. It's probably something to do with the controlled algorithm trying to, because they see the rise in witches and the herbal medicine and the just all the things, the healing taking place, and they're trying to demonize it again. So,
Yeah.
um, Rosie says, "Do you think Jesus taught astrology?" Yes, I think that Jesus learned from the Zoroastrians, who were followers of the stars. So definitely, they followed a star to get to baby Jesus. So that should tell you something. But yes, I definitely think the mystery schools that he attended and was a part of, definitely they looked to the stars for signs and wonders and taught astrology for sure.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And I also think it's interesting that, I mean, I don't know, I know we had different growings up, upbringings, but it's almost like, so astrology was bad, astronomy is okay, but not great.
Yeah.
Which is amazing to me because if we have a book like Job where it specifically talks about Orion and Pleiades, and the bears, Ursa Major and Ursa Minor, you would think that meant that the Hebrews would have to understand what it is that they're talking about. So even in that culture, they had to have more information than kind of what we're told now. Like, oh, don't even look at the stars.
Well, it's so much of like the tetragrammaton, the man, the eagle, the bull, and the lion is all zodiac signs. And it's all the fixed signs, right? It's, yeah, Aquarius, Scorpio, because Scorpio was an eagle
Right, it
before.
was. Yep, you're right. And what's interesting about those four
Hmm.
is they're actually on the Fanes stone carvings
Oh,
of Fanes out of the cosmic egg, those four. And then there is another picture from the Middle Ages where they just basically put Jesus in there, and then they just put Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in there instead. Yeah,
yes, I was gonna say it's in the Holy Bible from like
I know.
the, yeah, Dark Ages or whatever. Yep,
Yep.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I thought that was very interesting, but you're totally right about about those four. And then we also see that come again. Obviously this is not ancient, but we see that come again in the Wheel of Fortune card from the tarot. We've got those figures there too.
Got one
So
today.
oh, did
That
you?
was in my reading today. Yep.
Nice.
Rosie says, "I'm sure I was a witch in a past life. Yet I'm going to be still in this life." Yes. And then Ollie said, "People bully witches. They think witches are evil or weird. Unfortunately, but to be honest, people will bully anyone." Yes, and without witches, uh, pharmaceuticals wouldn't exist. Like we were, that's how they came about. We had herbal remedies that now they are turned into, they added petroleum and all the other things that are unnecessary. But I mean, that's how people are healed um,
Oh,
forever. That's always how it's been. So,
And of course, like this is a conversation that, of course there's always going to be like the modern witch trials, the modern witch burning, but I've just noticed this like people weren't even talking about us for a while and then boom, it just like came like all and it was kind of around like right after the eclipse, which I thought was weird. But like on like Truth Seeker put a post out, I think you probably saw talking about they didn't burn witches, they burned women. And I was in the comment section of that, and it was so disheartening to see how many people in the year 2024 were saying things like, well, I'm not saying that it was right, but if they really were practicing that, God told us what to do. I just can't, I can't even entertain the idea that you're saying, like, we should, not only are you saying it was okay to do it, you're actually kind of like saying we should do it again. And that's
well,
very
that
concerning.
kind of shows you which God they are serving. you
Yeah,
know?
very much so.
Yeah.
But I'll tell people all the time, like if you've ever taken one single pharmaceutical, then you have partaken in witchcraft.
Yeah.
Period. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Or a soup. you know.
well, and what I mean, like, Greek pharmakeia level, I mean, soup is like, I mean, that's pretty soft core compared to ibuprofen. Like, that's the actual sorcery that, if we go for the entomology. So,
For sure.
yeah, it's very interesting to me. I kind of like it. Like I'm okay with getting people mad at me because it keeps the conversation interesting and it has people asking questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I'm not, ashamed of, practicing divination and all the things. I have this one girl that I used to go to church with that she makes these comments on Facebook and it's like, obviously pointed to me, but she'll be like, you know, um, all these things like list of crystals, divination, astrology,
Oh,
all
like the
witchcraft,
nose.
all
Yeah,
and
right.
I'm like, okay, girl, like I don't know. On one of her posts, she said something like that, and I don't remember what it was actually. It maybe it wasn't that, but I was just like, you know what? I don't put my God in a box, like or one book. My God is the God of all, and He's in all and through all. So, I can find God in the places that He may not,
Yeah,
basically.
that's beautiful. That's such a great response too, Like I just I wonder sometimes. I get a little nervous sometimes just because once things get a little spicy in the world, it's like people like there's just gonna come back and blame witches again. Like, what the heck, And remember the whole thing like where it's like all these witches hexed the moon. I mean, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Sorry, it was a gnat or a spider or something. Yeah, I think that probably with the influx of the Divine Mother's return, we're going to see that,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
with people
Sure.
coming into the knowledge of the Holy Mother and stuff, we're going to see the demonization of her as well. So,
Rosie says, you never know, on Etsy they're selling spells. I mean, okay, yes, they are, for sure. But like I can speak to that. A lot of this has been okay, so it's gotten popular, right? It's very popular to do like divination, spells, witchcraft, spirituality. And there is something called a cash grab when things get really popular. And so if you see that, if the people really like Stanley Cups, then every other manufacturers are going to make something that looks as much like a Stanley Cup as possible. And that's what we've kind of had with this awakening. But
mhm.
they've honestly always sold spells on the internet. Like, you guys remember Miss Cleo back in the day? Like, this is not that much different. It's just that it's just more people because it's been so popular. I don't believe in selling spells, but like you do you.
I just believe that we all have the power within us I mean, literally words are spells. So if you come to that realization and you set the intention in your heart, then you can do magical things with your words, with your meditations. You don't need a potion or necessarily, you know what I'm saying? Like people think it's about like, burning this and do it. No, it's just putting it in the heart space and really then projecting it out into your reality, meditating on it, doing maybe a dance. Like I enjoy doing rituals where I'm just moving the energy with dancing and stuff. So, I mean, it can look like all kinds of stuff, but people don't
Yeah,
realize they're literally doing witchcraft every day and divination.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like your birthday candles that you blow out.
Yeah,
That's
that's cool.
That's,
Yep.
yep. But for people, when I say I don't believe in selling spells, it's not that I believe that people have, good, bad, or it won't work or it will work. It's just that, like, for me, I I don't feel like that's integrity. Like, I don't feel, like I can't say that what works for me will work for you. Like, it's not like I'm putting everything that I have into a jar. Now, I might give something that I love and have put energy into someone that I care about, but charging money for it, I think it's always going to work better when you do it yourself.
Absolutely. One little witch Shelby said, "You are the magic." That's right. Thank you, hippie. The doubting mind, and don't listen to others if you're connecting. Yes, you will feel it and know. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's all about the heart. It's really connecting the heart and the mind. I feel like that's where the magic happens. So,
I agree too. And Rosie says, what we speak becomes our ritual. That's
mhm.
perfect. Yep, that is absolutely perfect. I am gonna have to end with you tonight, if that's okay.
No,
I
totally.
I enjoyed our time. I know we've been on for like a little over 3 or 2 hours. Yeah, not 3 hours. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
No, this is fun. Let's do it more. And I think
Yes.
that, yeah, we should make a schedule. So
Yeah, let's
we
do
can
it. I
connect.
love you too. I love you too, Rosie. Thank you. Thank you everyone for
Thank
being
you
here,
for Yep.
for the
Yep.
gifts and the likes.
Thank you guys. I appreciate all the gifts and the likes. Thank you. And I'll talk to you soon, Ashley.
All
Thank you.
right,
Go
sounds
go
good.
follow Ashley. Love
And
you too,
go
Rosie.
follow
Love you,
Melissa.
Joe.
We could
Bye.
come up with a title for this at some point. We could do like, yeah, we could do like I don't know, like two something witches. It'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
All
Bye
right.
everyone.
Talk to you soon. Bye. You like that? So I'll hang out for just a little bit longer, just to kind of wrap up. But y'all, thank you so much. If y'all had any final questions or words, drop them. Thank y'all for all the likes and the shares and the gifts so much. Thank you, Ollie. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Rosie. I love you. Thank you. And the word witch means wise woman. That's right. And wizard was a wise man. Yep. Lots of love to you too. I was just making sure I didn't miss any good comments. But I really enjoyed tonight. And if y'all liked it, we should definitely, thank you, Joe. We should definitely do this again, collab with her and talk more astrology and witchy stuff. So I love you guys. I'm going to hop off. It has been 2 hours. And, ooh, excuse me. I'll see y'all soon. I love you. Bye.